Jessie sent me with a message. She said, see if you can get Sarah to dance.
To dance?
Yeah.
On
to
camera?
Dance. To dance, because you're always having people dance and like putting them out of their comfort zones, and nobody has ever seen you dance.
So, I feel like that's an unsafe place for us all, because our dancing era was like pop, lock, and drop it. And, booty dancing and
I've got your music. Whatever you...
A lot of unsafe.
Listen, however it hits you, but this is what she wants.
Okay. This is very elevator. Okay. Yeah. That's what she wants.
It? To keep it safe?
Yeah.
I see a
Or
little
what's
hitch in that.
Jessie's the rock the baby?
Rock the baby.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she said.
It's very Jessie.
It's very Jessie.
Jessie, very safe.
Actually, she goes, no, have her get ready to dance and then play elevator music, because she's going to be thinking
She knew.
pop and lock.
Yeah, she knew. It was like Nelly, T-Pain. Like, that's where I was going.
Right.
Yeah, so elevator. Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Jessie.
Sarah McNeil-Weaver.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming by, because you are, again, one of the busiest people on the planet, except for summer. In summer.
Thank God. Like I told you, I save up the PTO because I love everything summer brings. Just the slower pace of life. I love my kids home. Like, people are always ready for their kids to go back, but if it was in the cards for me, I would homeschool. Like, I love them being home. I love the pace of summer.
Yeah.
I love no routines. I love the freedom, the weather, the sun. Yeah. So yeah, here I am.
So you're a homebody, hey? Or is it just the boys just in summer?
Just the boys.
Okay. You're a boys body.
Yeah. Because home is where they are. For sure. It doesn't matter if we're on the road. Home is where Jax and Jet are.
So Mama Day 2, Jax and Jet, she just said.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Because what I would say you do probably would encapsulate everything that you do. You are a fundraiser extraordinaire. Would you say that you have raised millions at this point?
I don't know. Isn't that weird that I've never counted?
I
think I'm going to.
I was thinking back, and every year you host an event, which is the event of the season.
Yeah, thank you. I agree.
For the past, 10 plus years, and that event
12, 13. This is 13. Yeah.
And that event has set records multiple years.
Yeah.
And so
it has. So we're probably in the millions.
Millions.
Yeah.
How's that feel to say? You're a $1 million fundraiser.
I guess, like you said, I haven't thought about it. So,
well, let me tell you something. Right before you answer, let me tell you something. There is one common theme amongst everyone that I've spoken to the last couple of weeks, because we are nearing this event that we're talking about. We'll dive into that here in just a second. But I hear this one phrase over and over again. You can't say no to Sarah.
Oh. So,
what's it like to be the person that people can't say no to?
I don't know. I mean, I think someone was asking me, how do you fundraise? Like, what do you think makes you a good fundraiser? And what I tell people is, people can't say no if they see your heart in the mission of whatever you're doing. If you're selling crackers on the side of the street, you can't say no to someone that believes in what they're doing, right? So I don't dabble in anything that I don't love. If I'm not passionate about it, I don't do it, right? So I put on a pageant in March, and I was really on the fence, because I thought, if I'm going to do it, I got to blow it out of the water.
What's this pageant?
I put on a beauty pageant for the city of Dublin. Yes. So it was Miss Dublin.
Okay.
They wanted me to kind of come and help revamp it. And I was hesitant because I knew the time commitment. But I thought, I'm passionate about it if I can implement enrichment courses to educate the young women, and if I can up the scholarship money.
What is an enrichment course? So
an enrichment course is, and I was just actually explaining this earlier. So we live in rural Texas, right? Stephenville, not as rural, but Dublin, Comanche, DeLeon, and these youth don't have as much opportunity to get plugged into things that we think are everyday tools, right? That people already know how to do. So an enrichment course would be anything that's going to enrich their life and take them to the next step.
Okay.
So exposing them to college, exposing them to resume building, interview skills, self-confidence, any like enrichment, right? That's going to enrich their life in a super beneficial, life-changing manner. So I said, if I can make the pageant mine and do it to the Sarah way of it's got to be instilling in our youth, right? Then I'll do it. And so we did it, and it was great and made a lot of money for the city. So, yeah. So that's how people say no. They can't say no because they see my heart for what we're doing. And you can't say no to the kids, right? Like,
well, here's the catch. Here's the catch, though, because you have a passion for kiddos that is just. I mean, your heart, your home is where the boys are. Your two boys at home, but like, it's not that you play Sarah McLachlan music in the background and show sad pictures of the children and walk around saying, "Think of the children and the education that they're not going to receive." No, everything you do is fun and vibrant. And even the kids want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's always, every event is always the talk of the town. Now, I missed the Dublin one. I heard about it coming, but I didn't know you were.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
And I'm sure blew all the numbers and whatnot that they needed to make out of the water.
Yeah, I think I don't want to go crazy and say, but I think it tripled. Whoa. Yeah. I think that's safe number. So
okay, so what would you call your day job? What is your day job?
Obviously, I've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters Erath County for 15 years. This is my 15th year. I teach at Tarleton as an adjunct professor in psychology. I'm a helper by nature. I want to help wherever God's calling me that day, right? I never want to be tied to a desk. I never want to be tied to a schedule, really. Like, I love scheduling out my week, but I don't want to be tied to anything. I want to go where God's calling me. I want to go where my kids need me.
What does that mean to you when you say, I want to go wherever God's calling me?
Means wherever he needs me for that day.
What does that process look like? Walk us through it.
It is different every single day where he needs me. So it might be work. It might be a catastrophe at work. It might be a friendship. Somebody really needs me. And when I say needs me, like, I want to serve people in any capacity that need to be served. So do you need me to come over and hold your baby while you take a shower? Do you need me to help you organize a spreadsheet? Do you need me to pray over you? Do you need me to be a friend? Do you need me to bring joy, light, humor? What do you need? Because I want to be that wherever I'm needed. Yeah, I think that's what got me into the helping profession, is I want to help people, right? And you say, like, I'm so good at working with kids. I don't think you even know this. I never wanted to work with kids. And frankly, I always knew I wanted to have kids, but I never felt like my calling was kids. I always thought my calling was adults. Like, I like adults. And it turns out I'm good at working with kids. And that reality, I feel like when God exposed, like, you're good at working with kids, you're good at communicating with kids, kids trust you, that was a big eye opener for me. And I pushed back for a while because I thought, I don't want to work with kids. And then this job at Big Brothers Big Sisters came packaged so beautifully. And I thought, this is it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Rainbows, butterflies. Yes. Sometimes there's sad, hard stuff. Yes. But for the most part, I knew I want to live my life. Rainbows and butterflies. There's seasons, right? There's dark seasons, there's valleys, but I want to be up here as much as I can. So, your job takes up a lot of your time. So joy in the workplace is huge for me.
So walk us through that. Where did you get started? Like, what makes Sarah Sarah?
Man, that's a hard one. I mean, how far do you want me to go?
You can go as far as you want to go. You are this person now. You're this fundraising machine, but really, it's not that. It's that people can't say no to you, and it's not that they could say no to you. It's because you've been in people's corner,
right?
Not forever, but since when? Why do you feel such a draw to be?
I've had a pretty colorful life. I was raised in a broken home. My parents are both fabulous, but they never co-parented well. I had a stepmom that was great, that mediated as much as she could, but there wasn't a lot of enmeshment there. That's the wrong word. There wasn't a lot of togetherness. And when I got married and I found myself in a broken family, that was one thing I was really passionate about, was how can I guess to back up even further, before I found myself in a broken marriage, I had a master's in counseling psychology, and I was super passionate about working with families, right? Because we're in a day and age where families are all different. It's very unusual now to see a two-parent household, right? It's more normal to see a single-parent household or a blended family. And I knew I was passionate about that. And so kind of advocating how healthy families can look is important for me, right? And with that, kids are always the number one priority. And I feel like that aligns with a lot of the work that I do, is how can we serve kids? How can we introduce them to mentors? How can we introduce ourselves to mentors? How can we just be better human beings across the board, right? And so I feel like that's always been a passion for me. I have an older brother. He's a half brother. He was already out of the home. And so younger siblings, I always felt like I had to be a role model to them. And so I'm always pretty passionate about the oldest child in a family, because I feel like they carry a lot of pressure. And so I think that's always a big deal for me, is helping the oldest sibling in the family navigate different things. But I think overall, the helping profession has always been super passionate for me. So when I stepped out of the helping profession, right, and went into fundraising, recruitment, all of these other things career-wise, that was a hard adjustment for me. Like, how am I not hands-on program, right, anymore? And so that was an interesting adjustment. But I find myself now finding a lot of joy in how to generate income for the nonprofit I work for, and like the city, different things that I'm helping with. So
you were talking about,
it's a lot.
well, you were talking about just a second ago, the oldest child, and finding mentors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who were mentors along the way for you?
Oh my gosh.
And
So
what did
many
they teach you?
people. So many people. So many people. And I think that that's what makes mentoring so special, is that, I mean, I can sit here and I can tell you, my childhood friend growing up, her mom was just always, I looked at her and I thought, that is the kind of mom I want to be, right? She was always with her kids. She was always putting them first. She was always bringing a school lunch. She was a school teacher. She just always made sure that their needs were met. And she was so fun in the summer. She would think of stuff like tie-dyeing shirts for us, just stuff that was so cool. So I feel like motherhood, she is such a mentor for me. And then spiritually, like, I feel like I have a spiritual mom, Carrie, and she is so obedient to sending me text messages, looking out for me, praying for me. And then, of course, I have business mentors, and then I have teachers through my life that I think leaning into these people has always been so important for me and helped shape me, because one person can't do it all, right? And I think that's the unique thing about the culture we live in today, is we can reach out. We need people for different reasons, right? Like, kids need a male role model and a female role model for different reasons. I can't, and me and my ex-husband, we talk about this, and sometimes we talk in not nice tones about this. Most recently, we talked in not nice ways about it because, and I explained to him, this is why children need a soft voice and they need a stern voice, right? They need a female landing spot, a place to cry, a place to come for comfort, and then they need like a masculine, like, you're gonna get up, you're gonna do it because I said so, right? And there needs to be a balance and power for them. And so, anyways, all of that to be said, I feel like we have to pull from all sorts of people through our lives.
You have, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this, I'm not aware of the profession, but you're fairly unique for your profession. I don't know of a whole lot of psychology major, counselor type folks who are saying you need a feminine space. You need a masculine space.
I think the tricky part about psychology, and I was talking to someone about this on Sunday, you get in, psychology can potentially get really dark, and it can potentially wear a hat of diagnosing and I'm the way I am because of this. And a lot of times it doesn't leave a lot of area for the spiritual aspect. And to be quite frank with you, that's one of the main reasons I don't sit down and do one-to-one counseling anymore. I can provide what I call life coaching, but I get really tied up in not having the freedom to just be like, no, that's a God thing. That's a 100%. That is dark. This is light. Run from that. And so I think I choose things in life that are authentically me. And I don't try to put myself in a box I don't belong in, because I know I can't. I will never thrive in a box. I'm too loud. I'm too aggressive. I'm too out there to fit someone's mold.
When did you find your self-awareness? Because I think you've just pinged on what makes you so unique. You were saying, I'm able to ask people in fundraising for things because I believe in it, because my heart's in it, kind of a thing. But you nailed it. Like, you only do what your heart is in. How did you find that out about yourself, or when did you find that out about yourself?
I mean, to take it back, as a child, I was never particularly good at anything. And I struggled with that a lot because I wasn't athletic. I wasn't, the prettiest girl in the room. I hit a lot of really awkward growth spurts, long-legged, high waters. I mean, also, this is the 90s, so a lot.
Jessie was just talking about that. She's like, why do they let us out of the house?
Literally. And especially with wet hair. Wet hair was a big thing of the 90s, and lots of clips, and it's bad. So I wasn't ever particularly, like I said, good at anything. But the one thing that I felt like is I connected with people from all different walks of life, always. I had friends in every circle group, I did theater in high school, but I did cheerleading. I was, really good friends with people that did sports, but I'm a lover of people. And I figured that out really early. And I realized I never really fit in a specific group, but I felt like I could hang with any specific group. And I feel like that now. Like, I have, of course, ride or die human beings in my life, but I don't really fit in, a certain mom group, or I don't really fit in with a certain clique of people, right? And so I would say it was after college. I spent a lot of years trying to fit into molds, right? And trying to fit into, I need to lose so much weight. I need to really hone in on this skill. I need to be at the best of this. And then I just had to get comfortable in my own skin and say, you know what? I don't fit into that particular visual model that social media wants to push for women. I can't be that. I can be that, but I'm going to be really hungry and really grouchy. And that is not a good space for me or anyone that knows me, right? I don't want to test and be a certified counselor. I don't want to do that because I don't want to adhere to insurance situations, and I don't want to live like that, right? I don't want to be a full-time professor at Tarleton because I want to be able to adjunct and share my heart and teach what I feel like is necessary in the classroom. And so I'm kind of a free spirit, and I would say I figured that out after college. Yeah. I figured it out, but then I had to get comfortable with it.
Oh, that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like the other thing is I didn't really always knew about God, always knew who God was, always wondered about a relationship with him, but never really knew how to deep dive into that. And big brothers, big sisters, we had a board member who was a pastor, Pastor Tom Collins. And I just was talking to him one day and I was like, hey, like, you're a pastor and I don't go to church. Do you think one day you could talk to me about Jesus? And like I said, I knew about him. I had friends that went to church. I went to church with people. And
That's like the slow pitch for a pastor.
right.
I'll come to you. I've got some questions. I don't go, but do you think maybe you could help me with it?
But you know what was so cool was I'd known him for a year. He was on our board and we were friends. And he never once was like, hey, you want to come to church?
Yeah.
Hey. And that was the kind of the mentality I was raised in, is it felt like a pressure cooker of you need to A, B, C. You need to go. You need to be accountable. You need to serve. And I really struggled with fitting in a box, right?
Yeah.
And especially early 90s or yeah, I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say early 90s Christianity. It felt scary for me, especially being in a second or a 2-parent household or broken household, 2 different households, feeling like I never fit in. Like it didn't feel like a safe place for me to go and be raw and authentic as a child. So meeting someone like Tom, and the first time I entered his church, I said, I don't want anyone to be there. I want to go when no one's there. I'm scared.
You told him this.
I told him this. And he was like, okay, why don't we just start hanging out at the church in my office and you can ask questions? And I was like, I can do that. And so the questions I ask now, I mean, my heart's always been for kids. So a lot of the questions that he ripped the Band-Aid off for early on were hard questions like, how is a pedophile ever forgiven? How do you, I mean, just the hard stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he really exposed a lot of truth and light and stuff I was carrying, right? That was judgmental. And so that was cool. But then we had some really weird stuff, and some weird stuff happened.
What do you mean really weird?
You really want to go there?
I really want to go there. What happened?
You know where this is going.
I have no idea where this is
Give
going.
me a wink if you know.
I don't know.
We had the weird stuff at the building that we were renting go on. That was
you and your husband. You and who were renting?
My work.
Your work.
So the Big Brothers Big Sisters building had some scary stuff going on.
You talking like bump in the night type stuff?
A bump in the night, painted windows being open.
So are you a believer at this point?
Of Jesus Christ?
Yes.
Yes.
Just not in church.
No, I was in church at this point.
Okay.
So I'm in church.
Tom wins.
Tom wins. Jesus wins. Tom talks me into church. However, I was not going to get baptized until he took me up there with nobody in the church and step by step said, okay, I'm not going to dunk you. I'm going to do this. This is what it's going to look like. And nothing changes after that. So I was baptized, and he definitely brought me to Christ in a beautiful, gentle, non-judgmental way. And I'm forever thankful for him.
Imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Forever thankful for him. So that kind of shed a new light in figuring out, like, I am who God created me to be. And it isn't the box that, the 90s, 2000s, small town America. I was never going to fit into that. And so, yeah, that was kind of a release for me. But at this point, I still had a very textbook relationship with God. What do they say? You can miss God by 12 inches, head and heart. And I believed with all of my brain. I believed it. I wanted to open my Bible every single day. And I was hungry for the word. I wanted to read it. I needed to know it. I wanted to highlight. I wanted to make notes. And that time was really special for me. It was. But I was missing something. There was something more. Everyone talked about these conversations with God. I didn't have those. Everyone talked about these moments where God came in, and I'm like, he don't do that for me. He ain't, it ain't the same one. We're 2 different gods, right? And had some weird stuff happen at my building. I don't even want to go into that because it was just dark and weird. But Pastor Tom was like, I want you to meet my friend. His name's Dave. I think you and him would really like each other from a spiritual level. I think he can kind of fill in some of the gaps that you need. And so not only was Tom a great pastor, but he knew when it was time to pass the buck and say, she needs a lot more than what's written on the paper, right?
Not only is he a great pastor,
but he knew when it was time to say, talk to this guy. And he just, Dave and I, Dave Whiteman, we started as friends. We would meet. Well, first of all, he came into the building and kind of confirmed that, hey, Sarah, yeah, so you may not have hit this part of the Bible, but there is a part where it says that spiritual things can be lurking around and, you don't need to be scared, but let's hammer this out. And those details are weird and messy and yucky. So there's that. We'll just skip past that chunk of weirdness. But Dave and I built a relationship on, you don't earn your way into heaven. You don't have to read your Bible as much as you're making yourself feel accountable, right? Like, you need to have this relationship with God that's from the heart. And I envied people that could, but I also thought maybe it was a little bit baloney, a little hokey, a little bit, okay, right? Got the psychological background too. So, you're hearing voices. That is not good. And frankly, getting through the beginning parts with Dave was a little hard because I'm going into my work head and I'm like, we ain't supposed to hear that. And so kind of going through that with him. And
so Dave is he's a friend of Pastor Tom's, or?
So yes. So at this point, he's a friend of Pastor Tom's and a fast friend of mine. Like, okay. We are friends. We would meet once a week at Starbucks and just talk about life. Right. And then my marriage fell apart and it was very sticky and it exposed a lot of those wounds from church. And it's a long, messy story, but the story is not the important part. The important part is through that messiness, I got to hear God. And so for the very first time I heard God was my husband had left. I had the 2 boys and I was recovering from a surgery and in the absolute darkest place I could be. Couldn't do anything. I couldn't even breathe without saying the Lord's Prayer. I mean, that's how hard it was. I got up and something inside of me kept saying, go find Dave. Go find Dave. Go find Dave. You should go find Dave. And mind you, I haven't heard from the Lord, but Dave keeps going through my head. And I'm like, I'm going to go see my weird ponytailed friend. I don't know where I'm going to find him, but I'm going to go find him. And I knew he was a pastor at the Green Church. And I drove by, saw his truck, opened the door, and he says, Sarah, I've been waiting for you. And I said, have you really? And he said, God woke me up this morning and said, go wait for Sarah at the church. And I was like, who? I just heard from God. I just heard from God for the first time. And it is not an audible voice. It is, like I told you on Sunday at church, it is a burning inside of my chest that I cannot get rid of until I do and I'm obedient to whatever I'm being called to do. And so here I am driving to this church thinking my chest is on fire and it's either the church or the hospital because, I could make the other turn to the ER and it's probably a heart attack. My life has got a lot. It is a heart attack. And it was the Lord urging me to stop and talk to Dave. So that's all history from there. I met you, Pastor Jared Brown. And the first church service, you probably don't even remember this, but the first church service I said, and you didn't know anything about me. I came because my friend Dave was like, come to church on Sunday. My son-in-law is a preacher here. Okay. Sat in the church service and you said you were praying and you just stopped and you said, hey, I'm sorry. I know you're new here and you probably don't want this, but I've been seeing your face all week and God wants me to tell you that He's rebuilding the foundation of your house. Yeah. And I just lost it in church service. Didn't talk to you afterwards. But I just thought, okay, he's been showing a stranger's face to this man all week. And he wants to rebuild my foundation, not my house. He wants to rock my foundation. And after that, My marriage completely fell apart, felt like a complete failure, was raising my children in a two-parent house or a separate parent household. Lots of dark spots in that. Lots of mistakes made on my end of anger, resentment, pity. Felt so sorry for myself. Looking back, I'm like, oh God, felt so sorry for myself. And just, I don't even want to say full restoration because I know God is still restoring me, and He is every day, but just, man, letting Him speak to me and expose truths and bring joy into dark situations, and to say, like, you don't have to be married to your ex-husband, Ty. You're still a family. And figuring out, I never knew anybody that co-parented the way I wanted to do it. And so Ty and I, we call it, we're on the same team. We're on the same team. Like, we're going to disagree, but we're on the same team. So
It is the weirdest thing.
it is
a
weird.
third party.
Yeah.
It is, no, and by weird, I mean beautiful.
Thank you.
Let me clarify that. But it's weird. I'll come across it. I can't count how many times now at this point, a post or something that you'll make on your social media, and there'll be the whole family, the whole team. The team's there.
Team's there.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, they're still divorced, but there's such a partnership that you guys have in caring for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's more than like, okay, we co-parent. The term doesn't do it justice because they're there for each other. There are certain times, and this probably sounds weird to an outsider, but it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Certain times when you've gotten mad. I remember a story where you got mad at an umpire or a referee or something.
His story still haunts me.
And your husband steps in and finishes the job, kind of thing. Like he comforts you. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm taking this.
Yeah, ex-husband steps it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we are the same team. The story goes that the umpire on that, or he wasn't the umpire, he was a fellow coach on the other side, decided that was the day he was going to announce that he was going to whoop a woman's.
Were you that woman?
Oh, yeah, and I was getting up. He wasn't going to whoop this one. Like, we were going to square
At the one.
No. And I thought, yeah. And so I got up and I was ready. But before I knew it, my ex-husband grabbed him by the little overalls he was wearing and quickly informed him, you are going to back down, or actually you're leaving an ambulance, I'm leaving in a police car, and that's how this is going to play out. So
it's a little deeper than co-parent.
Yeah, I mean, we are on each other's team, and as we have chosen partners to help be part of our kids' lives, that's been a huge thing. Is that we are still a family unit. We are going. If you want to be in a relationship with me and like his beautiful, kind, awesome, amazing partner that he chose, like if you're going to be part of what we're doing with our kids, you're going to have to respect the team. And both of our partners do that so well. I couldn't do what they do. They have so much love and respect, and it's beautiful. Beautiful.
I love the fact that you have so many different facets to who you are, and you're not put in this box.
Yeah.
Because on one side, you're the very well put together. You may not think this about yourself.
No, that is maybe the first time I've ever heard someone refer to me as well put together.
Well, here's actually, there's two camps of people. There are people who don't know Sarah. They're in the minority in our parts. And then there are people who think that you are their best friend. There's nobody in between. Everybody either swears that you're their best friend or I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
But I think we all can agree, like, you're pretty well put together on your professional side. I mean, you are the face of Big Brother, Big Sister.
It's super important.
And it is super important to you that parents know,
Yeah.
Sponsors know.
Yes.
That
You can trust me with your money.
Yes.
You can trust me with your child.
Yes.
It's important.
But there's also Mama in the stands who's not going to have it one
No.
more time. And I will meet you
Square.
You're stepping, I'm stepping.
Square up. Yeah, there is.
Oh.
There is. But on the same note, I'm going to square up for any kid.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to defending potential and truth, not any kid, any person. Like I am a lover of human beings and I am a lover for what is right and true. And I'll lose sleep over defending what I know is light and truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Sunday
Yeah.
reminds me.
Please give it to me.
This Sunday, we're in church.
Yeah.
You and I go to church together.
We do. Same place.
In a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
We go to church together.
Yeah.
And I'm entering into this time that we've been kind of embracing in the last couple months or so of contemplative prayer, meditation, whatever.
Which you do beautifully.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that piece. It's kind of Jesus's way of taking all the heavy lifting. You had said a minute ago, moving from, all head knowledge and understanding. So I do want people to grasp the word, have an understanding, but not to miss the point that there's an interactive God who wants to speak to them.
There is.
And sometimes we have to navigate that world, and meditation, contemplative prayer has been a huge tool for that.
Right.
Okay. Knowing that not everybody's on the same page and all those caveats. Yeah. Well, I go to enter into this, and you have, I'm leading the deal, and you have a moment where I hear somebody's voice, and it's Sarah. She's like, wait a minute, wait.
I hate speaking out loud on this. That's how it felt.
Wait a minute, wait. I think I'm supposed to do it. I think I'm supposed to lead the congregation through listening prayer so that you can experience together with the congregation.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know what that's like, I mean, which we need to dive into about your story, you do this regularly with your clients and friends and whatnot. So you're a champ at it. But it's hard in a way to lead a significant number of people at the same time, because some people are just getting in. Some people don't really know what's going on.
Right.
Some people don't even need you. They just need you to say go, and they're already off to the races.
Yes.
So there's a gambit, and I'm thinking to myself, what? This is harder than it looks, Sarah. I know you you need to be dialed in with the voice of the Lord on this. So I'm having this inner monologue, and I'm sure it's taking a minute because the congregation's kind of looking at me. And I'm walking over to Sarah, and I'm thinking, Lord, what do you want to do? What do you want to say? So in it, she begins to backpedal. She's like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
And she said something. You said something about psychology or something like that. And I remember saying, we don't want psychology.
Right.
We want the presence of the Lord.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think we're supposed to. He wants me to lead in this. I think you're supposed to receive something. In our church, we have a thing where we honor courageous obedience.
We do.
And you took a massive step.
Boy, did I. It still makes my heart heartbeat that I even spoke up, but I couldn't. The burning would have stayed with me all day.
That burning that you were talking about, where is the voice of the Lord, and you have to speak. You have to say something was there.
Right.
And so we honor courageous obedience. The fun part is we have a thing in our church, too. If it's done publicly, it gets corrected publicly if it's off. So I'm like, well, we're both going to find out together.
Yeah.
If we get into this and realize this isn't the Lord, then one of the elders is going to step in and be like, no, guys, sit down. But we get into this. You lead out in this listening prayer, contemplative prayer, and we're meeting with Jesus. And it was incredible. The Lord, he's just faithful to do. And I'm realizing, I'll give you the nugget and I'll spare the story. I may tell you the story another time, but it just got through talking about, I'm going to go to Canada one day and I want to go meet the Lord, in this place called Moraine Lake. It's in Banff. And in this scene that the Lord has me in, I'm in Banff, in Moraine Lake, and there's a glass bottom boat. And I'm getting ready to get in there with Jesus, and I'm going to roll him around kind of a thing. And he's smiling and he shakes his head, and I'm like, oh, what am I thinking? You do the row. And I'm sitting here thinking about I've always wanted to go to this lake, but I'd rather just sit and watch his enjoyment.
Yeah.
And so I'm laying in this glass bottom boat instead of turned face down watching you can see through the crystal clear waters or whatever. I'm laying on my back and I'm watching Jesus row this boat, and he's having such a time just being enjoyed in his presence. And I remember thinking, oh, you're asking me for control. And that was a huge thing. This last week, there had been a young man who came up and he said, "Hey man, I see you got some control issues." And he was working with me, and I'm like, "Got control issues? You just don't want to work. You don't want to do it the way that I want you to do it, kind of thing. Oh, you're paid for. Oh, you Gen Z, yeah, all that." But anyway, and
Wow.
I was like, I don't know that I have control issues. And as I'm sitting there in this boat, and you're leading us in contemplative prayer, I'm like, yeah, I think I have control issues, and I love this so much more to be just like not in control, to have you in control and be a part of the ride, because you seem to have a giant smile on your face.
Yeah.
So it was a huge breakthrough moment, just to kind of give you some feedback. We
I'm
had
glad
talks
you did. Yeah.
since church, so thank you for your obedience. I think I
Yeah.
texted you that just so that you wouldn't freak out.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we step out in faith,
We do. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate
thank you for your obedience. It was incredible. It was an incredible encounter with the Lord that I'm never going to forget.
I love that. I just felt like God wanted you to be part of something. And I thought, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. As much as I am scared of messing up, but it feels good to be in a congregation of people that there's really no mess ups.
Yeah.
And so, good. I'm
Because
glad.
the beautiful thing afterwards, one of the leadership, they said, "Hey, you probably need to keep a tight rein on that. You can't be just, if you can't pass that mic, give him control." I'm like, well, the Lord was working on something today. And it's so beautiful how you're talking about that burning. I don't have a burning in my chest, but I knew he was after something whenever I had like a hesitation. It was like, oh, I can't have this.
Yeah.
If I can't go in a direction of fear, I have to go in a direction of courageous obedience.
Yeah.
And the courageous obedience side was to give Sarah the microphone and say, "Let's go."
Yeah.
It happens. Anyway,
Well,
I know I'm not alone in that.
I'm glad it was what you needed to hear, because it was definitely stepping out for me, because when it comes to doing things outside of my comfort of what I know I'm good at, it's a hard one for me. So I'm glad that you got something out of it, and other people did too. And no, you do not have to worry about me trying to take the mic. Go tell the elder. We do not have to worry about Sarah taking the mic unless her chest is on fire.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, in being led of the Lord, what are you into these days? What's he put on your heart? Like, what's something recent where you've been like, okay, Lord, I'll look into this.
Oh man, so much. There is.
So you're talking about like a daily thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I am a daily checker-inner, if that's the word that I'm looking for. I am a daily. Somebody, when I was early on, I struggled with anxiety and depression, rightfully so, especially after I had the boys. I feel like I nursed and got pregnant, and I never was off of in a regular hormone state. And so I struggled a lot with anxiety and depression after I quit nursing my second son, Jeb. And early in my, what's the word I want to use? Christ journey of mental health care. That's the word I want to use, because I knew I couldn't go straight mental health because I wanted and needed a relationship with God. And there was so much more than just the psychological give her an antidepressant, right? I needed the other part. And so early on in that, I read where somebody said, I just take Jesus in the car with me every day. And I ask, put on your seatbelt, Jesus. Where do you want to go, Jesus? Oh, you want to take the kids to school? And I do a check-in on what Jesus thinks needs to happen. And probably for a year, I made a mental note of, let's get in the car. And I had to be very visual for me of Jesus got in the passenger seat with me. And should we stop at Starbucks? Oh yeah, let's stop at Starbucks. It was a constant check-in.
What do you do for the Westerners who are not used to that idea, who are, we're highly intellectual,
Mm-hmm.
so you're making things up or you're imagining. What do you say to them?
Imagining what?
You're imagining Jesus get in the vehicle with you. It's like, so there's a joke that is on The Simpsons so many years ago, and Homer Simpson is laying in bed, and he says, "Okay, God, if you want me to eat this donut, say nothing at all." And then he reaches over, grabs the donut, eats it, and he says, "Thy will be done."
Oh, okay, that's good.
And
That's
he
good.
eats it.
Speaking really authentic and raw, I don't think Jesus has I don't think he's super opinionated on a lot of things like eating a donut or, for my personal thorn in the side, stopping at Starbucks, right? I think that he has an opinion if it's interfering with you paying your bills, if it's interfering with being true and authentic to your relationship with him. But for the most part, a lot of that stuff, I have to do those deeper check-ins. But for me, it was more of get in the car, and it was more about the repetition, right? Because when you're in that, I don't know how to describe depression and anxiety other than you are stuck in a dark cave, and repetition is what pulled you out. And I felt like at that point in my life, what I needed was the repetition of setting an alarm and getting up at this time, putting on workout clothes or makeup or whatever the day called for that day, asking Jesus to get in the car with me. I needed that repetition to pull myself, with the help of Jesus, out of where I was at.
So I think what I'm getting at is I think a lot of people when we use words like imagine Jesus or go to your happy place.
Right.
Dave's always teasing about, are you guys in your happy place yet?
Yeah.
But I don't think they understand that we're practicing the presence.
Yeah.
There's something, well, it's not just psychological, emotional. It is, what does Dave always call that? Psycho-spiritual?
Yeah.
Where it's a part of your whole being. You recognize his presence.
Yes.
And we are setting our eyes upon him. And I've heard some people say it this way in the past. It's like when you want to go in, say for instance, you want to go into old memories, some scarring, wounding type memories, for whatever reason. But you want them to be you want them to be healed.
Yeah.
Well, you go into that space with the only person who can, because it's dangerous in psychology to rewrite history, but the only person who can show you where he was, what his emotions were, what truth was in that situation.
I love that you said that, because one of my favorite stories is your number one finger. And I share that with people. How when you went back and you asked for something to be rewrote and you saw Jesus holding the foam finger.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, I carried that darkness of failure.
Yeah.
But really, when I took a second and looked around, it was Jesus, my hype man, right?
Yeah.
And I think that
so hard to
going back into those memories is scary and icky. And if you go in by yourself, it's just going to be scarier and ickier, and you're going to come out with a new, probably more demented and dark truth, right?
Yeah.
Than if you just let Jesus take you in, and share how he saw it or how he wants it to be.
What's amazing, because I don't think people understand this, is once he's been in that memory and he's redefined it, when you go back to that memory, you can't see it without the lens of how he's shown you, like how he's updated it or whatever. And it's crazy because it's true. It seems to me, whenever I go back into these memories, sometimes they seem like fake or put on.
Right.
But in reality, it's true. It's how he felt, how he feels about me. It's how he felt in those situations.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's unlocking.
And I had a hard time. Psychology came before Christianity. And I'm saying I always knew God, but this relationship with God, right? Psychology came before, and it was really hard for me to understand the difference, right? How am I not making these things up in my head? Like, how am I not creating the narrative, right? And I think that's the biggest thing I want to teach my kids and anybody who will listen, is that it's not fake. It is not. If you get to a spot and you let Jesus speak to you, that is the truth, signed, sealed, delivered, right? And I am not trying to pretend like I stay in the light because the good Lord knows I don't. And there are times that I go into situations. I just had one last week, and then I had to go humble myself and apologize. And I go into situations thinking, Sarah. Well, in that situation, I wasn't thinking just Sarah. It was a lot of things, and if we don't go in with the truth and the light, it is ugly and messy. And I, just over the past couple years of my life, I've really made a lot of, I've made a lot of choices in the dark as a single woman, just wanting to be, independent, maybe is the word, and really trying to figure out my true identity of, am I going to be single forever? Why does God not want me to have a partner? Why hasn't God sent me a man to love me, to talk to me, to help pay my bills? Like, why am I? And so I think we get into those routines of making our own narrative, right? Well, he probably hasn't sent me someone because I'm not obedient enough. I don't have this going for me, right? We make our own narrative, and it's always dark and it's always gross, but we make it ourselves, right? And it's a very unsafe place to be, but we all do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it is, whether it be relationships, money, weight loss, we all think we have to fit in this box, and it's messy.
I love that you're showing us how to live outside of the box.
Oh, man.
She won't be boxed.
I will not be boxed.
I love that about you. So what would be your advice to a young woman who does not want to be boxed and wants to learn how to follow the voice of the Lord and live to her fullest? What breadcrumbs would you leave for her?
I think that as a woman, we have come so far in the past 100 years. And with that being said, we still live in the stigma of, you need a man to lead you. You need all of these things. And I'm going to go back to what I said about a feminine, soft, and a masculine. It is out of all the walks of life, I would say being a single woman has been the hardest. And I don't think that anyone particularly wants that. And I know there's been years where I've been like, that's exactly what I want. I don't want any man in my life. I don't want that. But I think that the best piece of advice that I can give, and this is what I started doing, and I did it, was about a year and a half ago, I started journaling. So all of those empty spots where I longed for a husband and a soft place to land, right? All of those lonely times, instead of acting out of flesh, I started journaling to Jesus, and I treated him as if he's my husband. And so all of my letters were to Jesus, of, this is how I'm feeling. If I had a husband, this is what I would tell him right now. If I had a husband, this is the question I would ask him right now. If I had a husband, and generally God did direct me on who to call. You, my dad, an uncle, a friend, my ex-husband. Like, God directed me on who to call. But I had all these men in my life that I could call on in a healthy way that I wouldn't have seen had I not have opened that journal and my heart up to God. So I think being a single woman in today's society is hard. Not to just speak on the finances. Like, it is financially a hard place to be for any single income household. Mm-hmm. And so my advice would be to start seeking the Lord in a way that you allow him to be your husband. And you're the one that told me that one day. You were like, allow God to be your husband. Seek him.
Well, he tipped us off to that, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
He had given you a song in like a dream or something.
Man.
Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And it was I think it was John Michael Montgomery's like, I Can Love You Like That.
Yep.
And
he gave me that when I was married.
And you're asking me, this is later though, that you're reprocessing through, what does this word mean? Mm-hmm. And you're asking me, you're like, what do you think God means by this?
Yeah.
And it's I know when you're in it and the throes of life and it's pulling at you from all the different angles. But I remember thinking, Sarah, what do you think this song means? So like, he wants to be your everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. But what do you think that means?
Yeah, it goes back to the very literal, it just for any listeners like that are kind of struggling with hearing the voice of the Lord. Again, that was not Jesus coming down and saying, hey, this is my song to you. This is 3 mornings in a row. I woke up with this 90s country song, which I don't listen to 90s country, 90s rap, but not country. And I've got this song playing in my head. I Can Love You Like That. He read you Cinderella. And I was just like, why is this song over and over and over? And as I looked up the lyrics, that's when it became apparent to me that that's the song that the Lord has given me. He can love me in all of those ways that I long to be loved, right? And yeah, if it's a single woman seeking and looking for your identity in all the wrong places, if you're looking to men to love you, if you're looking at your employer to praise you, if you're looking at your kids to praise you, which is the most unhealthy place to be, which I know a lot of women, we throw ourselves into raising our kids. And that is super unhealthy to ask for validation and praise from our kids. And I've been guilty of, am I a good mom?
Yeah.
They don't need to carry that. Yes, I'm a good mom. They don't need to tell me, right? So just to lean into the Lord and do it in a way that's authentic to you. For me, it was spending $30 on a beautiful journal that I was proud to sit down in. And sometimes I journaled 3, 4, 5 times a day.
In Starbucks or?
No, I did this at home.
Oh, good. To check.
I love Starbucks. I love it so much, but I can't seek Jesus there. I don't know if it's the noise. I don't know, but he doesn't meet me there. He allows me to stop and he keeps providing the $7.50, but
he's over at King Coffee. It's okay. We'll get you there.
Boy, is he. Boy, is he. And if King Coffee, and I tell them this, if they could get me some sort of caffeine like Starbucks does that's not in a coffee form, because I can't do coffee.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop the podcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Starbucks and you don't drink coffee?
I drink a strawberry acai. It's a green coffee extract bean. Strawberry acai, no inclusions, no water. That is my drink. It is the jolt of clean, pure, beautiful energy for 90 calories. That is what I need. And King Coffee cannot get on it. I'll do a coffee there occasionally, but I get heartburn from coffee the older I get. I can't do it.
I can't believe you spent so much money at a place that you don't even drink their coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No worries.
Starbucks coffee is not.
I put all their kids through college. It's fine.
Yeah. It's not like up here. So King Coffee's where it's at if you want coffee. Actually, Blackjack's personal preference.
It's King all the way. That's Lincolnville.
Jesus is there though. Yeah, you open that door and it slaps you in the face. So if you're a non-believer, go to King Coffee.
Yeah.
You will be. Jesus will meet you there.
So funny. We had Lance on a while back, and that's what he wanted. That's all he's ever wanted.
Yeah.
He's opening up these stores because Jesus is leading him to open up these stores. Like he's given his wife dreams, and they're just walking into it. Because if it was up to him, he would spend more time in Blackjack's and Lincolnville and just focus on, build it up a little bit. It's like, no, open this one. Now do this.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a beautiful place. And I think there's a lot of people that hear from the Lord in King Coffee and that aren't afraid to be bold and come up and say, hey, the Lord wants you to XYZ. Or
we were sitting in there, a group of guys. We're trying to make a decision. We're getting ready to go work, but we need to make a decision. And we're like, I keep on telling them, I'm like, we need to pray. We need to pray. We need to pray. We need to pray. This guy comes walking in through the doors, an older gentleman. He comes walking in through the doors and he says, hey, whose truck is that out there? And Jake was with us, Jake Friels. And he says, it's my truck, sir. And he says, can I pray with you guys? And he said, yeah. He said, I can't shake it. Like I saw that truck. And I was like, I need to find the owner of this truck. But when I came in through the door, I was like, I need to pray for these men right here. I'd just been telling the guys, like, we can't go anywhere. We've got to seek the Lord. But, distractions, people coming up to the table. This guy came in with a mission. I was like, well, now we can go.
Yeah.
Now we
Love
met with
that.
the Lord. His messengers come. It just gave such confidence. So I don't know. I don't know if every town has that. If the Lord's doing that like in 1,000 different places,
I hope
but
so.
it's sure special.
It's sure special.
It sure is special.
It is.
Okay, Sarah.
Yeah.
You're amazing. I think most of the guests that I have on, if I know them, I try and end or land the plane with telling you something that I wouldn't normally tell you in everyday life. But I think I've told you everything that that I would normally tell you.
I
Most
love
of them are
that.
like
We have a transparent relationship, and those are the ones I want in my life. I don't want any non-authentic.
I think you're amazing, but you know that your kids are giant killers. Your kids
Thank
are
you.
so stinking cool. There was a Sunday a while back where I don't know whether you took them or they took themselves or what, but y'all all end up on the altar together, and God just compelled me to go down there and remind them again that they are giant killers. And that
Thanks.
you're raising giant killers. And I don't know what that word is. I know there's a book out there about giant killers, but they just have this like Davidic flair to them. They're these little wild ones, but they're not. They're so like tender-hearted warriors, I guess.
Thank you. I think that we get so lost in the parenting sauce of the pressure, especially, just the pressure of grades, sports, everything. And I think at the end of the day, all I want is for people to see that these are they're good kids. They're good humans. You can lean into them if you need something. They're just, they're not mean to your kid. They're fun. They're everybody's hype man. And I think they are. And they're very different personalities. They go about it.
Never cease to amaze me.
They're
Because
crazy.
every time I think I have them pigeonholed, they'll do something that's not outside of their character, but it's outside of something that I would pick for them or
Yeah.
think that they would be capable of doing.
Yeah.
They'll go outside of the box. Well, of course,
They're
their mom
amazing.
is who their mom is. I think you're amazing. I think the way that you're raising your kids is amazing. I think that the impact that you have on our community is incredible. I don't want to blow your head up here, but you are making a difference in Erath County. You are making a difference for the future generations. I could not be prouder of you just to be your friend. I think that's about what I got.
Thanks. That's all I want. That's all I want is to live every day making an impact wherever it is. I hope that one day when I pass away that there is going to be people that feel like I expose them to God, or maybe not God, but at least the tenderness, joy, light, truth. That's all I want.
Well, if someone were to watch this podcast, I know you're out there on social somehow, and they would want to keep in touch with you somehow. How could they do that? Facebook or
Yeah.
what's your jam these days? I know you got a secret group on Snapchat, but
Oh yeah. Facebook. I'm old school. Find me on Facebook. I used to lead a little Facebook group, like a prayer group. I kind of let that one die down. I'm more about individual relationships. I love to pour into people.
I think that's why everybody thinks that you're their best friend.
I am everybody's best friend. I love human beings, and I love one-on-one time with people. And I think that's something really special that my oldest has that same gift is since he was little, I can remember him being 2 and he'd say, "Can you quit nursing that baby so we could go to the porch and chat?" Like he just loves just the one-on-one chatting. And that's me. I love this. I love this. This is what fills my cup. I love helping people. So yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
Love
me.
you.
I love you too.